Hello everyone and welcome back to John Bell's Iconic Metal Models. Okay, so if you've joined me in the last video, since then, yes, I decided to paint all the interior white, and I've also added the first two columns. So pretty much in this video, I'm going to add the next two columns here, and obviously cut away this temporary structure. Okay, so first thing we have to do really is to get this this part, and that gets glued on this this frame here. I've already done the previous two. So that one was glued into the upper section, and then this one was just floating, ready to take the next deck, which will come in across here a little bit later on. So what I'm going to do is just paint some white glue on the top edge and down that surface. Then let's take your ruler. So the top, we've got 13.5mm, so all we do is bring it down and just make sure that we line it up perfect. And then always kind of have a look at it with your eye as well, just to make sure that it looks right. Okay, so in the pack we'll get these little parts, the top and the bottom for the columns. So one's got a pre-cut slot that we use to slip into the upper deck supports, and they go in like that. They also supplied some dowel, and this dowel's a 6mm one. Okay, so that way I found out the measurements between the deck and the top support is pretty much just fitted one of these upper supports in, because this is where they're going to fit. They're going to fit, as you can see there, right under where the cross supports go. Fitted the bottom of the column and then brought them pretty much side beside each other, and then I just took my pencil, went right underneath the bottom of the column, and just gave myself a rough mark. Okay, so you don't want to cut it off at that, because that's just been marked to the bottom of the upper column support, and actually you've got a little bit of a play inside it, so we've got around about 5 or 6mm, yeah, 5 or 6mm that actually goes up into the column. So wherever that line was, which was just there, we probably want to add 2 or 3mm. We don't want to add the full 7mm, because I'm actually using it to be slightly adjusted so we can move it backwards and forwards. So what I'm going to do this time is just add 3mm. Take the measurement, because we'll use this for the rest. That gives me about 7 centimeters. And I'll just cut that on the mitre block. Bring that part back across and just have a bit of a look to make sure that we've cut it right. And we have. So why I've not cut it completely, if you can look, there's about a mil gap. So when you actually slide it in, what we'll do is we'll just bring it down, glue it into the bottom of the deck with a little bit of play. Then we'll just close that up. Okay, so what we can do now is just glue the bottom in. Spin it a few times. Make sure all the glue's nice and spread out, and then just clean off the excess. Okay, so we're not actually going to glue this one in just yet. We're going to glue that in with the final fitting. Okay, so I'll bring the structure back across. So as you can tell, I'm actually staining these, and I actually stain these with a nice on these Furniture Clinic wood stains, and I use the rosewood. If you ever visited like Victory or anything like that, I did try mahogany first. I just didn't think it kind of matched the look of the columns weather deck of Victory, so I went with the rosewood, and I think it looks it made a really nice match. So all you gotta do is just paint it 2 or 3 times, and then we end up having a nice rosewood finish column. Okay, so bring this one across, fit this pretty much dead center to that slot. Just have to wiggle about a bit until you're happy dead center. So you can see there is a gap, but all we'll do when we glue it, and we'll put glue in that top and bring that directly down, running directly in line with this these cross sections and the bottom deck. Okay, so this time we're going to paint a little bit of glue just inside the top of the column. Paint some glue all the way around that as well. We'll leave that, we can get some glue under that after we fitted it. So bring it back across and just do the same again. It's a lot more a tighter fit once you've painted this this section white. Let's have a quick check, make sure you're running nice and true to that middle section. Push it to the side a little touch and just paint some glue all around where the foot's going. I'm just going to bring it down. I'm just going to turn it a few times. And same again, we're going to be making sure that we're running true. See, we're just a bit off at the minute. Make sure we're running true that way. So all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one of these deck supports that we're going to be fitting a little bit later on. All I'm going to do, I'm just going to shore up these 2 upper deck supports. And they'll just make sure that they're all running nice and true. So now I'm going to bring a clamp across. And just squeeze that column down while the glue dries. Okay, so I've left that column to dry a good hour just to make sure it's all looking nice, and them 2 are lining up quite nice as well. So what we're going to do now is actually going to remove this temporary cross section, because that's all that was for. It's just keep that nice and in place until we actually fitted the columns. So I'm just going to use something just to slightly bring this up off the cutting mat, just a couple of mil. Then I'm just going to take my razor saw and I'm just going to cut it. What I like about the razor saw is you get a really nice flat blade, so we can get really close to this edge and cut it all the way down. So now we've cut through that, I think it's just easier just to kind of snap that off, and then we'll just replace it, cut its length and replace it after. Let's cut that out, and then we'll just cut a small section off and just put a filler piece in like I did with that one, just to take the last plank off that back edge. Okay, so now it's time just to fit this back column. So I've just done it a little bit different this time. I actually just drilled a little 1.8 mil hole and just fed in a little bit of a cocktail stick. I did the same on the this back one here, just for a bit more actual, feels like some kind of like connection rather than just a bit of glue. So same again, all I've done is just drilled a hole directly in the middle of where them sections join. So now we can just feed this column in. Because we've got a little bit of play, we can just bring that over to it. and then we can glue it. And it just feels like more like a mechanical fixing. So same again this time, just paint glue onto the bottom of the column foot, and also the little spike as well. Same again, a little bit more around this edge. You can see that kind of pokes out the bottom, but then we'll just cut that off. So what you get is you got a correct space all the way along the bottom, which is 11mm on both sides, but if you can tell, that's actually leaned off to the side. But when we actually bring all these sections in, when we fit this middle one in, that'll act as like the central anchor. Then we'll bring all these into it, and that'll kind of pull it all in nice and square. And then same again, just don't forget to wipe off the excess glue. Okay, so these last two columns have been drying for the last 12 hours and they're absolutely solid now. So like I say, when we put that central column in, all I'll do, we'll just squeeze these top edges in. Okay, so the central column's been painted and that can be ready to be fitted soon. But before we do that, I've got to add all these little anchor points onto the inner face. Okay, so on this section of the plan, there is a little location for where all the holes have to be drilled, and then the size of the holes. But there's no actual distance to where actually the holes need marking. But if you actually turn over the plan, yes, if you turn over the plan to this little figure, that to figure 2, these are all actually in scale. And how I checked it was in scale is just measured the ladders that they do show you in a drawing to actually make that nice to scale. So I knew that I could take all the measurements off of this plan and actually transfer it to the model. So if you watch the build from the start, I decided to leave all this off till a little bit later in the build, so because it would have been really difficult once all this is actually all fitted in to actually get in and mark up all these holes for all the anchor points. So yeah, so I think I made a good choice by leaving this central column off, because it was even difficult to actually mark it up while it was still easy to get into. But what I found is, one of the things that I've found it easy is actually just to use scraps of wood that we've got knocking about, and I actually use them to mark up a lot of the holes. So on this bottom hole, it was 8mm from the edge in the outer gun point. So we've got some 8x2. So I use that. So I use that to get the 8mm going down. And then the bottom one was 18mm. So I just use some offcuts of wood to make them ones to be marked for the bottom point. And same again, so on the inner edges, just where I could mark it as that was an 8. So I just use these pieces of wood. Okay, so you just need drilling now. Like I say, no point me showing you, because literally all you'll see is just my hand in the way. So they need drilling, and then this central column can be fitted with the column legs exactly the same as we've done this one, and then we'll be able to put the cross members in, and then that's pretty much all the structure complete. Okay, so I hope you found today's video useful, how to fit these central columns. Once we come back, I might start building up one of the main guns that can be fitted in, and then I've got all this to do and the decking, but I'll do that off camera because it's exactly the same as how I fitted this bottom deck. So yeah, so I think when we come back, we'll probably look in at building one of the guns Anyway, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you all again soon. Take care, everyone.